Big changes coming to Old Trafford. What United fans need to know right now. Welcome back to Unite United News, your most trusted source for everything Manchester United. We know how much you love this club, and we know how important it is to get the real story behind all the transfer rumors flying around. That's why thousands of United fans turn to us every day for the truth, not just the headlines. Today we're going to break down some massive news that could change everything for United this season. Are you ready to find out what's really happening with Benjamin Sesko and Alejandro Garnacho? Let's dive in. What's really happening right now? The transfer window is always crazy for United fans. One minute you're reading about a done deal, the next minute it's all rumors. But right now, there are two big stories that every United supporter needs to understand. First, there's talk about Benjamin Sesko joining United from RB Leipzig. This Slovenian striker has been linked with moves to big clubs across Europe, and now it looks like United might have won the race for his signature. Second, we're hearing serious talk about Alejandro Garnacho potentially leaving Old Trafford for Chelsea. Yes, you read that right. One of our most promising young talents might be heading to London. But here's the thing, not everything you read online is true. There are lots of fake stories and exaggerated claims floating around. That's why we're here to separate fact from fiction and give you the real picture. The Benjamin Sesko story, what we actually know. So who is Benjamin Sesko, and why should United fans care about him? Benjamin Sesko is a 21-year-old striker from Slovenia who currently plays for RB Leipzig in Germany. He's tall, he's fast, and he knows how to find the back of the net. This season alone, he's been one of the most talked about young forwards in European football. Now, based on reliable reports, it looks like United have made serious moves to bring him to Old Trafford. Sources close to the deal suggest that Sesko has actually landed in the UK to discuss terms with United. That's a big step forward from just being linked with a move. What makes this interesting is that United have been looking for a reliable striker for months. Last season, the team struggled to score goals consistently. Players like Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee had their moments, but they couldn't provide the consistent threat that United needed. Could Sesko be the answer? Well, he's young, he's hungry, and he's proven he can score goals at the highest level. In the Bundesliga, he's shown he can handle pressure and perform when it matters. But let's be honest about what we don't know yet. While reports suggest talks are advanced, there's no official announcement from United or Leipzig. No medical has been confirmed as complete. No unveiling date has been set by the club. Some stories floating around online claim that Sesko will be unveiled at Old Trafford this weekend. They even quote specific tweets from transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. But when we check the official sources, we can't find these quotes anywhere. This is exactly why you need to be careful about transfer news. It's easy for fake stories to spread, especially when fans are excited about potential new signings. Why United need a striker like Sesko. Let's talk about why this signing would make sense for United. Last season was tough for United fans. The team finished lower in the table than anyone expected. One of the biggest problems was scoring goals. Too many games ended in draws because United couldn't find that clinical edge in front of goal. Erik ten Hag, before his departure, and now the current management team have been looking for a striker who can change games. Someone who can score the difficult goals when the team needs them most. Sesko fits this profile perfectly. He's not just a goal scorer, he's also good at bringing other players into the game. This means he could help players like Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford create more chances too. At 21, Sesko also represents the future. United have been focusing on building a young, hungry squad that can grow together over the next few years. Adding a striker of his quality and age would fit perfectly with this strategy. The question is, can United convince him to choose Old Trafford over other interested clubs? Reports suggest Arsenal were also interested at one point, but they've moved on to other targets. This could give United a clear run at signing him. The Garnacho situation, a tough decision ahead. Now let's talk about the other big story, Alejandro Garnacho potentially leaving United for Chelsea. This one hits differently for most United fans. Garnacho isn't just another player, he's one of our own. He came through the youth system at Old Trafford. He's lived the United dream, and he's shown glimpses of genuine world-class ability. So why would United even consider selling him? The truth is, football is a business as much as it's a passion. United need to balance their books, especially if they want to bring in new players like Sesko. Selling academy graduates like Garnacho counts as pure profit on the financial books, which gives the club more freedom to spend on new signings. But there might be more to it than just money. Some reports suggest that Garnacho's relationship with the current management isn't perfect. In modern football, if a player and manager can't work together effectively, it often makes sense for everyone if the player moves on. Chelsea have been watching Garnacho for months. They see him as exactly the type of young, exciting winger who could thrive in their system. For Chelsea, he represents someone who could make an immediate impact while still having huge potential for the future. What would Garnacho bring to Chelsea? Let's be fair about Garnacho's qualities, even if it's painful to think about him in a Chelsea shirt. Last season, Garnacho was one of United's most productive players. He was the only player apart from Bruno Fernandes to reach double figures in both goals and assists. That's impressive for any player, let alone someone so young. Garnacho has pace that can terrify defenders. When he's running at full speed with the ball at his feet, very few players in the Premier League can keep up with him. He also has the technical ability to beat players in tight spaces. Perhaps most importantly, he has that unpredictable spark that can change games. Some of his goals last season came from situations where nothing seemed likely to happen, but he created magic out of nowhere. For Chelsea, adding a player like this would give them a completely different attacking option. Their current wingers are good, but none of them have quite the same combination of pace and directness that Garnacho brings. The money side of things. Let's talk about what these transfers might cost. For Benjamin Sesko, reports suggest United would need to pay a significant fee to RB Leipzig. German clubs are known for driving hard bargains, especially for their best young players. The exact amount hasn't been confirmed, but it's likely to be a substantial investment. This is where the Garnacho sale becomes important for United's finances. If Chelsea are willing to pay around £40 to £50 million for Garnacho, that money could go a long way toward funding the Sesko deal. It's a classic example of how modern football works. Sometimes clubs need to sell players they'd rather keep in order to buy the players they really need. The question for United fans is, would trading Garnacho for Sesko make the team stronger overall? It's not an easy question to answer. What other clubs are doing. While United are dealing with these two major situations, it's worth looking at what their rivals are up to. Chelsea, obviously, are trying to strengthen their squad by taking United's promising young players. That's exactly the kind of move that could come back to haunt United if Garnacho fulfills his potential at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal, meanwhile, have moved on from targeting Sesko and are focusing on other attacking options. This suggests they weren't willing to meet the asking price or couldn't convince the player to join them. Manchester City continue to operate in the market with their usual efficiency, while Liverpool are being more cautious with their spending. This context matters because United need to make sure they're not falling behind their rivals. The Premier League is more competitive than ever, and every transfer decision can have long-term consequences. The fan perspective, what United supporters are saying. United fans are divided about both of these potential moves. Many supporters are excited about the possibility of signing Sesko. They see him as exactly the type of young, dynamic striker who could help United get back to challenging for major trophies. The fact that he's choosing United over other big clubs would also send a positive message about the direction the club is heading. But the Garnacho situation is much more controversial. Some fans understand the financial reality and accept that sometimes you need to sell to buy. They point out that United have other talented wingers who could step up if Garnacho leaves. Other fans are furious about the possibility of selling one of their most promising academy graduates to a direct rival. They argue that United should be building around players like Garnacho, not selling them to fund other transfers. Both viewpoints have merit, and ultimately, it will come down to how these decisions affect United's performance on the pitch. Looking at the bigger picture, these transfer stories don't exist in isolation. They're part of a bigger strategy that United are trying to implement. The club is clearly trying to build a younger, more dynamic squad. Players like Sesko fit this profile perfectly. They're talented, they're hungry, and they have their best years ahead of them. At the same time, United are trying to be more efficient in the transfer market. The days of spending massive amounts on established stars who might not fit the system are hopefully behind them. This approach makes sense in theory, but it requires getting the details right. United can't afford to sell promising players like Garnacho and then fail to replace them adequately. The risk and reward. Every transfer involves risk and reward, but these two moves carry particularly high stakes for United. If Sesko joins and fulfills his potential, he could be United's main striker for the next decade. That would make any transfer fee look like a bargain in the long run. But if he struggles to adapt to the Premier League, United would be left with the same problems they had before, just with less money to solve them. Similarly, if United sell Garnacho and he becomes a superstar at Chelsea, it could go down as one of the worst transfer decisions in recent memory. On the other hand, if the money from Garnacho's sale helps United build a more balanced and effective squad, fans might look back on it as a necessary sacrifice. What happens next? So where do things stand right now, and what should United fans expect in the coming days and weeks? For the Sesko transfer, it seems like United are genuinely close to getting a deal done. The fact that he's reportedly in the UK for talks suggests this is more than just speculation. However, until there's an official announcement from United or RB Leipzig, fans should be cautious about believing every detail they read online. Transfer stories can change quickly, and deals can fall through at the last minute for all sorts of reasons. The Garnacho situation seems less advanced but potentially more certain to happen. If Chelsea are serious about their interest and United are willing to sell, these kinds of deals can move quickly once both clubs decide they want to make it work. Our final thoughts. Here at United News, we believe in giving you the full picture, not just the headlines you want to hear. The potential signing of Benjamin Sesko represents exactly the kind of smart, forward-thinking transfer that could help United get back to the top of English football. He's young, he's talented, and he fits the profile of what a modern United striker should be. The possible sale of Alejandro Garnacho is harder to get excited about, but we understand the financial and strategic reasons why it might happen. Sometimes tough decisions are necessary to build something better in the long run. What's most important is that United make these decisions based on a clear plan for the future, not just short-term financial pressures. As United fans, we've been through plenty of transfer windows that promised everything and delivered disappointment. We've also seen windows that looked quiet but led to successful seasons. The key is to stay informed, stay realistic, and remember that transfers are just the beginning. What really matters is how these players perform in a United shirt and whether they help the team achieve its goals. Why trust United News? Before we finish, let us remind you why thousands of United fans choose United News as their go-to source for transfer news and club updates. We don't just repeat rumors from social media. We check our sources, we verify information, and we tell you when something doesn't add up. We've been covering United for years, and we understand the difference between genuine news and wishful thinking. We also understand that being a United fan is about more than just transfers. It's about passion, loyalty, and hope for the future. That's why we always try to give you context and analysis, not just headlines. Most importantly, we're United fans ourselves. We want the same things you want: success on the pitch, smart decisions off it, and a club we can all be proud of. So whether Benjamin Sesko signs for United, whether Alejandro Garnacho stays or goes, or whatever other transfer stories emerge in the coming weeks, you can count on United News to keep you informed with the truth, not just the hype. Keep checking back with us for all the latest United news, and remember, we're all in this together. Come on, United. Stay connected. Make sure you don't miss any of our updates by bookmarking United News and checking back regularly. We'll be following both the Sesko and Garnacho situations closely, and we'll bring you the latest developments as soon as they happen. Thanks for reading, and remember, united we stand, divided we fall. Here's to hoping for a transfer window that brings us closer to the success we all dream of seeing at Old Trafford.